Just like dogs, it used to be said that every movie, no matter how bad it was, eventually went to heaven. Heaven, of course, meant physical media in this case. First it was VHS, then it was Laserdisc, then DVD, Blu-ray, and now finally 4K Blu-rays. Every movie eventually would get some kind of physical media release. After all, rentals and sales were an important component in a film's profitability. In fact, some movies that tanked theatrically did so well on DVD that they became perennials, such as Donnie Darko or The Transporter. The DVD sales of that movie actually influenced the studio to greenlight a sequel and gave Jason Statham a legit career as an action star. Yet, despite physical media making a comeback this year, it's worth noting that a lot of the most popular movies in recent memory have never gotten a physical media release. And we're not only talking about movies that all but disappeared when they hit streaming. Oscar winners aren't getting released to physical media, and that's because these are all movies that were produced by streaming companies who presumably want you to come and subscribe to their streaming service if you want to see any of their films. In fact, the only streaming movies that reliably hit Blu-ray are the ones that Netflix lets Criterion put out. But unless your name is Martin Scorsese or perhaps Noah Baumbach, so many huge movies haven't gotten physical media releases at all. So let's take a look at 10 that, in our opinion, really need some kind of release. Number 10 is a movie that I think really went under the radar, Outlaw King. It's worth noting that the version of this that I saw at TIFF back in 2018 isn't the version that hit streaming, with 20 minutes being excised from the film before its general release. Given that it's a quasi-sequel to Braveheart and the fact that the stars of the movie, Chris Pine, Aaron Taylor-Johnson, and Florence Pugh, are much bigger now than they were back then, this seems like a film that's ripe for a reappraisal a Blu-ray release could give it, and it would be nice to see the longer director's cut finally see the light of day. The same thing goes for our number 9 movie, The King, which was a superb historical drama which, quite honestly, was the movie that sold me on Timothée Chalamet. This David Michaud film was loosely based on Shakespeare's Henry V, and Chalamet is so good that a lot of us think this action-driven historical epic might have played a big hand in his Dune casting. Again, Chalamet is much bigger now than he was in 2019, so why not polish it off with a new release? Joel Edgerton has rarely been better than he was here as Falstaff, and it has an incredible score by Nicholas Britell, who is best known for contributing all the music to Succession. Number 8 is kind of a no-brainer, Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery. Again, given how popular Knives Out was when it hit physical media, you'd think that Rian Johnson would push for this one to get an extras-packed release, but no dice so far from Netflix, who, I guess, just want you to subscribe to Netflix if you want to see this very expensive movie. Number 7, though, Dolomite Is My Name. This one is really inexplicable. It's all but begging for a Criterion release with a ribald Eddie Murphy commentary track, plus some deleted scenes, and the original Dolomite isn't streaming on Netflix either, so making a Blu-ray set that included Dolomite as an extra would make this a must-buy for collectors. Number 6, Six Underground. I'm actually surprised that Michael Bay hasn't pushed for a physical release for this would-be franchise starter, with Netflix apparently considering the film a misfire and kinda killing the franchise right then and there. Given the fact that it's a Ryan Reynolds action flick, it would certainly sell well, especially for home theater enthusiasts. Number 5, another one that home theater enthusiasts would really love to get, The Greyman. I guess you could say that this is another misfired franchise starter, but with Ryan Gosling a lot more popular now than he was when that film came out thanks to Barbie, one assumes this high-profile action flick would sell a whole bunch of 4K discs. I suppose Netflix just hopes that more people will check it out on the streaming service, but it feels like a missed opportunity. Number 4 is one that action fans would for sure buy, Extraction 1 and 2. Now, this is proven to be a solid franchise for Netflix, but action fans are collectors. Both of these movies would certainly make a mint on 4K Blu-ray. Give these movies to Arrow Video, let them do a special feature-loaded double bill, and it would sell. Number 3, one of my favorite little-known Netflix movies, Triple Frontier. J.C. Chandor's star-studded heist flick has actually gotten some renewed attention, with stars Charlie Hunnam and Garrett Hedlund hoping for a potential sequel. Again, some of the actors in this, notably Oscar Isaac and Pedro Pascal, are way more popular now than they were a few years ago. It's a great movie, and frankly, this is one I'd actually like to add to my own personal collection. Number 2, Kota. As of right now, Apple's Kota is actually the only Best Picture winner at the Oscars that you can't get on physical media. I know from posts on X that this drives collectors absolutely crazy, so certainly this charming film would sell well, especially given that far fewer people subscribe to Apple TV Plus than do Netflix. This would be a sharp way to make a little extra bread, and hey, after Argyle really tanking, you can't tell me that Apple doesn't need a little extra cash. And finally, number 1, streaming movie that absolutely needs to be on physical media, Barbarian. This one boggles the mind. Barbarian was a solid box office hit and a pop culture phenomenon once it hit Hulu. Horror fans love physical media, and a loaded up Blu-ray of this movie would sell like hotcakes. That said, of every film on this list, I'm thinking this may actually have the best chance of eventually coming to physical media, with Disney putting out Prey not too long ago. So, what do you think? What are some other movies that made their debut on streaming that should come out on physical media? Let us know in the comments, and hey, maybe we'll do another video.